Hey guys, they here from Median. So today's video is going to be about PC build under 25k. The reason I'm going with this PC build is there are many people who know asking me about a PC build as low as possible for gaming and editing. By this PC, you can get like 30 to 40 frames in AAA titles in GTA or any other AAA title, and you can even do light editing tasks. So in this PC build, we are not going to be using any dedicated GPU. The reason is very simple. The lowest possible graphic card like RX 570 or 1050i cost around like 10 to 12,000. So there is no way that you can put a graphic card in this 25k PC build. But instead we are going to be using APU from Ryzen. If you ask me what's APU, APU is nothing but it's a processor with comes with dedicated graphics built in the processor. In this build we are going to be using Ryzen 3200G. So it's a 4-core 4-trace processor and it has Vega 8 graphics built in it, and it's rated at 65 watt TDP. This processor costs around like 7,500 to 7,800 rupees. So the reason I'm going with this processor is the first thing is price and the performance. So the Ryzen 3200G and the 3400G, the price difference between both the processors is like around 4 to 5,000 rupees, and the performance is same because this has Vega 8 graphics and it's built in Ryzen 3rd generation architecture, and it has Vega 11 and it's built with Ryzen 2nd gen architecture. So the performance between both the processor is like around the 3400G has like slightly 7 to 8 frames, but we get the same performance by slightly overclocking 3200G. You can ask that why didn't you go with a Ryzen 3400G? 3400G costs around like 11 to 13,000, and we cannot get the processor in 25k build because we need to spend in motherboard, RAM, CPU, and even like other components. So the processor we're going to be using is 3200G for this PC build. For motherboard, we are going to be using a A320 Pro motherboard from MSI. The reason I'm going with this motherboard is this motherboard costs around like 3,200 rupees, and it's a very cheap motherboard comparing to its performance. So it's a micro ATX motherboard. It comes with a NVMe slot and it has 2 RAM slots, and it can be even used for overclocking processor and RAM. So this is a motherboard we are going to be using for this processor. For RAM, we're going with a 2 GB sticks from Adata, which are clocked at 3,000 MHz, and this RAM sticks cost around like 2,800 rupees from Amazon. The thing is, please buy RAM sticks as soon as possible because the prices are so low at present time. So if you do not have money, first buy the RAM sticks and keep them aside. Please do use dual configuration for this PC build because Ryzen processors greatly suffer from high clock frequency and dual channel configuration. If you do not have money, buy a 8 GB stick and buy another 8 GB stick for future, but do not use 4 GB sticks because it greatly affects your PC performance. So please use dual configuration, or you can even use 16 to 16 32 GB configuration, but use dual configuration for Ryzen builds. It's greatly impactable in your performance. There are 3 ways in which you can configure storage. So the first one is just buy SSD, which all the people say, for fast Windows boot times and fast gaming load times, but you cannot get more storage. The reason is simple. Nowadays the storage of a AAA title goes from 80 to 120 GB. The example is the Red Dead Redemption 2 has like around 150 GB storage space, and even GTA costs like 100 GB storage. So you need to get a 1 TB SSD for that about the storage, but the 1 TB SSD costs on like 10,500 rupees in India. The second way is you can buy a 2 TB hard disk which costs on like 4,900 rupees, but you'll suffer in Windows boot times and game loading time. My preferred way is just buy a 120 GB SSD and 1 TB HDD. You can put your Windows in SSD and you can install all the files in hard disk. It's the best method. You can even get high boot load times and more storage for all your games. So just get a 120 GB SSD and 1 TB HDD for your PC build. The most important part in your PC build is power supply. Please do not cheap out in power supply. At least get a white or bronze power supply from any brand you use, but my recommendation is to get a P450B bronze power supply from Gigabyte, which costs on like 2,500 rupees. You can even get Cooler Master or any other power supply, but they cost around like 3,000 to 3,500 rupees. I even tested the Gigabyte power supply, so please get a Gigabyte power supply. And I forgot to mention, all the part links are in the description. Do go check them out. The last and the most important part is a PC case. Please do get a nice case because your performance will greatly suffer if you do not get a spacious case. If you get a compact or any case that doesn't have great cooling performance. Your components will heat up and their performance will decrease automatically. My recommendation is to get a Corona's case from Zebronics, which costs on like 2,500 rupees, and the reason is it has built-in fans and it even comes with the RGB light. So please do go and check them out in the description. Or you can get any case you want from Antec, Cooler Master, NGXT, UAVs. But keep in mind that get a case from 3,000 to 2,500 rupees, because if you do not keep the budget in this category, you need to increase the overall budget of your PC build. That's it guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.